Hi, it's Chirag here. Some people love wearing harnesses and collars, others like using them with their dogs. Which one do you fit into? Maybe fit into both. Watch What Dog TV's episode, which is coming up next, all about harnesses and collars, where Rio Federica and myself talk about them and question some common beliefs. Let me know what you think. It's coming up right now. Stay tuned to this story.
Walking leads harnesses. I know that that's quite like a common subject and kind of question. What should you go for?
So I would say if you've got a puppy that's pulling, doesn't know how to walk, ideally you don't want a lot of pressure on their neck because that's probably not nice and could damage their neck.
Whoa, why do we use collars on our dogs? Well, we've always used collars on our dogs. It makes collar sense. Actually, does it? Is there any science behind it? We use collars because that's what we've always done. People used collars back in the days to tie dogs up to keep them controlled so they don't run away. Even some of the laws require dogs to wear collars with a tag. However, using collars on a sensitive part of the dog's neck where there's so many glands, so many vessels, where they have their windpipe and they breathe. It's like hard to breathe when you're like strangling yourself. And some people are like, well, my dog wears a collar and they don't mind because they strangle themselves, but they keep pulling. Well, sometimes where the reward outweighs the aversive, the dog will keep pulling, but doesn't mean they're not doing any damage to themselves. And so it's our responsibility to educate them and help them and keep them safe. Like with a child, children will do lots of things that get them into danger, but we don't say, well, obviously that's not too bad for the child because they keep doing it. Well, the child's going to keep doing it if we don't help them set them up for success. So it's our responsibility not to just say, well, my dog wears a collar and they keep pulling and the dog doesn't learn. Well, maybe we need to help the dog learn. We need to give them better alternatives.
So a harness is a good alternative.
I know what question you're about to ask. It gets asked so often. Won't a harness train my dog to pull? Well, yes, you could teach a dog to wear a harness and pull, but putting a harness on a dog doesn't mean they're going to learn to pull. It's all about what we do with the harness, how we use it, and how we educate our dogs to walk.
However, harnesses aren't all built equal.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wear heels, but you wouldn't wear heels 24 hours a day. And if you did, it could maybe damage. I don't really wear heels, but
some people like wearing harnesses, some people like wearing collars, some people like wearing heels. You do you.
Could damage the way you walk and stuff like that.
100%, your feet, it's not a nice, not a nice
exactly.
feeling.
Like even like wearing skinny jeans or something. Sometimes like I just want my joggers or my tracksuit bottoms.
Yeah.
And same with dogs. When you put harnesses on, think about how could it be restricting their movement. Sometimes again, harnesses are cheap and we go, oh my God, I got this really cheap harness. But if we watch the dog, what you find is the dog actually walks different when they got the harness on. And it's almost like someone tying your legs and you end up walking like this. Now with a puppy that's growing, that could really damage them.
Wait. You might be saying, wait, I thought you were just saying harnesses are good. Now you're saying they're not good. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we need to be thoughtful in everything we do. Kay Lawrence, a fantastic trainer in the UK, talks about training thoughtfully. And I love that. We need to be thinking about everything we do and not just going good, bad. It's not always that simple. There's so many ifs, buts and thens when we do training or educate. And so with a harness, we need to consider the pros and cons so we're doing the best we can for our learners.
So I would recommend with a harness is film your dog walking without anything. Then you find a good harness, film your dog walking, and your dog should essentially walk in the same way that they're walking without a harness.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't restrict their movement.
Yeah.
And if it does, we might need to change harnesses.
So with a harness, it's not as simple as just going for large, medium or small, because look at our clothes, for example. Each of us are designed differently. If we work out like someone here, and you have a chiseled body with a six-pack and massive muscles, again, look, yes, can you see it? And so we sometimes need to find clothes that fit our body type, and our bodies change if we eat a lot, if we don't eat, if we exercise, so many different factors, if we're sick, if we're not sick, all of these things affect our bodies. So just because we wear one kind of clothing or size now doesn't mean it's not going to change later on. And with puppies especially, puppies are growing at such a fast rate. So when we use harnesses with puppies, we need to be constantly adjusting adjusting the sizing and monitoring them, because they're going to grow out the harness size very quickly. And so it's so important we keep an eye on our individual dogs, and we don't just think Labrador equals this size harness. Each Labrador can be different. Their body can be slightly different. So it's important that we consider the individual dog and the individual harness that we use for them. I love harnesses that have adjustability. So every strap on the harness, you get the collar strap, you get the strap on the back, you get the strap on the belly, you get the straps on the side. I love harnesses where each of those straps are adjustable so that I can adjust the harness for my dog. I've recommended a harness in the video, the Blue 9 balance harness. I love that because of the adjustability all over the body, but there are also other fantastic harnesses out there. And I know in the video we say that you get cheap harnesses and expensive harnesses. That isn't to say that expensive harnesses are good and cheap harnesses are bad. You can get cheap harnesses that are excellent, and you can also get expensive harnesses which aren't that great. Yeah, think about the individual harness for your dog. And if you need help, ask a trainer, ask a vet nurse, ask your local pet shop, and they can help you find the right harness for your dog.
Got you. Very interesting.
And when you introduce a harness, we'll do some training in a little while and I'll show you how to introduce it. Because if you just put it on, it could scare the puppy.
Yeah.
The best way to introduce a harness to a dog is in small steps, and each small step leads to success. So what we do is we introduce the harness further away, give our dogs a treat or play with a toy, give them something they like, and then we let the dog investigate the harness for themselves. Maybe keep it on the floor, let the dog go up, do a little treasure hunt, put a ball or a toy or some treats underneath the harness, and when the dog investigates, they learn the harness is good. Then you can pick the harness up, give them some more treats, you can pick the harness up. If the dog comes closer, give them a treat. Then you can start using a treat or a target to teach the dog to stick their head through the harness, or you can teach the dog to use focus on the bucket game, or to stand still, eat treats on the floor while you touch them with the harness. And if you see that your dog becomes uncomfortable, their tail goes down, their ears get back, they start looking away, they lean away, they start to walk away, we let the puppy walk away or the dog walk away. This empowers the dog, and the dog goes, oh, I said no and someone listened. And then when the dog comes back, we make a big fuss and give them lots of treats. And then we do little small steps to be able to put the harness on the dog. And when the harness is on for the first time, we make it lots of fun. Go for a walk, let them do a little treasure hunt, play with a toy, and keep it on for a short time and make it fun, take it off, and then start to keep it on longer and longer. And this way our dogs will learn to love wearing the harness.
And a harness and a lead should be there to keep an animal safe, not to control them. So we can teach them to walk by our side without controlling and forcing them to do that.
And always tugging back.
Without tugging back. But it's there just so they don't get run over or they don't happen to run on the road. So we want to use training, positive training, to teach them to walk nicely, as opposed to use the lead to control them.
A couple of final points before we finish. So the first one is, if you are using collars, it doesn't mean you're doing anything bad or you're a bad person. It just means there's something for us to think about. I use collars with my dogs, and I also use harnesses. However, if I've got a dog who's going to pull on a lead, or is likely to quickly lunge, or is going to put pressure on their neck, then I would probably go for a harness over a collar. I've got a 14-year-old dog who rarely pulls and walks along nicely, and sometimes with him I will put a collar on a dog. Now some people won't like that, other people don't mind, but I'm not judging you, I'm just trying to provide some education in this video. The second thing is, you do get harnesses that are designed for stopping your dog pulling. It says no pull harnesses, and it's like it's magic, but there is no magic, darling, it's only science. And so often the way these harnesses work is there must be some kind of aversive, like there's pressure, or there's like it tenses up, or it makes it a little bit uncomfortable for the dog when the dog is pulling, and then when the dog is walking nicely, there is no pressure. And so it's worth thinking about, how do these harnesses work? And it's not to say it's the worst harness in the world or you should never use it. If you've got a dog that's pulling a lot, then maybe one of those harnesses can be helpful short term. But ideally we want to move away from the mechanism that makes it uncomfortable for your dog or unbalances your dog slightly so that when they pull, they don't like pulling. Rather than that, we want to focus on educating the dog using positive reinforcement to be able to walk by your side. If a dog is pulling, they're not just pulling because they're being naughty or they like pulling. Dogs can pull for different reasons. Like Dr. Susan Friedman says, WTF, and that's not what the F. What it stands for is what's the function. When a dog pulls, they could be pulling because yes, they get to the smell, or they get to the park, or they get to see their doggy friend faster. But dogs can also pull because when they leave the house, the world is a scary place and there's lots of traffic and noises and sights and sounds and people. And when the dog pulls, they get away from all this scary stuff. Now imagine you got a dog who finds the world scary, and on top of that, we're yanking their neck or we're putting an equipment on them that makes them feel uncomfortable. How not nice is that? And again, don't feel bad if you go, oh my God, I'm doing this with my dog. We do the best we can for our dogs. We all love our dogs. That's why we do the things we do. And it's just about education and also wanting to do something different. And so find a way that we can make it work. And so work with a professional who's a positive reinforcement based trainer and someone who's educated, experienced, and they can help you make this a possibility. And so look forward to seeing you again. Hopefully you found this video useful. And if you did find it useful, it would be amazing if you can head over to the What Dog channel on YouTube, hit the subscribe button so you're notified of the new videos coming up, and also like and comment on the videos. Let us know your opinions because all of this helps share the information. Thank you so much for sticking with me in this video. I know it was long, but hopefully it was useful. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and see you later. Hope you have a wonderful day. Lots of love.